fill a square shape with satin stitch. We're going to bring all our stitches up on the top side and down on the bottom. They'll all be on the same angle and they're all actually going to be the same size. So let's get started. So bring your needle up in the top left corner of your square. Pull through all of the working thread so that your knot's holding your thread nice and secure at the back. And now poke your needle down in the bottom left corner of the square. Gently pull through all that working thread to create your first stitch and see how it's lined up on the left hand side of the square. Okay, so bring your needle up on the top edge of the square again, but this time bring it up just to the right of your first stitch. Then what you want to do is poke your needle down, but this time it's on the bottom edge, and again it's just to the right hand side of that first stitch. Just gently pull through all that working thread, and hey, check it out. Now we've got 2 stitches and we've got the beginnings of satin stitch. So continue this method of bringing your needle up on the top side of your shape, pull through all the working thread, and then poke your needle down on the bottom side of the shape. Always just aiming so that your stitch will sit nice and flush with the previous stitch on the same angle. Now, I know that this is challenging as a beginner, so please don't worry, it gets so much easier with practice. Let me give you some more tips. So you don't need to pull your stitches super tight. You just kind of want to pull through so that your stitch just sits comfortably on the surface of the fabric. When you bring your needle up, you try to aim for a similar point on the edge. So for example, I'm trying to always bring my needle up just on the outer edge of the line, and then I'm trying to poke it down always just on the outer edge of that line as well. And it gets a lot easier to do that the more satin stitch you've got under your belt. You can see now why the directional lines are quite helpful, can't you? Because as you come up near to them, they're like a visual guide to help keep your stitches on track. Like on a bigger shape, you might have started to angle your stitches out and then you're like, oh, here comes a directional line. I'll get back on track, and it just makes it a bit more manageable. All right, so we're nearing the side of the square. Got a few more stitches to go. Isn't that looking nice and satiny on top? Let's do 2 more stitches. As you get more practice with satin stitch, you'll find that your stitches start to go where you want them more often than not. But while you're learning, it definitely can take a bit of practice. And sometimes I poke my needle up a few times. I don't commit though. I just keep going until I find the spot I want, and then I draw it all the way through. So 1 last stitch on the right hand side, and hey, you've filled a square with satin stitch. Well done.